said that when you go to chemist school, you became more alert. You may wake up, your spirit wake up, and you became a more human being. That's your character is built in a school. Classical studies, we must know Medew Netcher. You see, maybe in the future we need to know some heretic too. We need to know Medew Netcher. Achievement in Kemet for me is education. The way they think, they build, and they practice their education is very unique in history. Without education, I believe there will be no Kemet.
Alrighty, peace, ETM Hotep. Welcome to the Sesh channel. Today is Monday, June 6th. And this is your brother Wujau. And again, welcome to the channel. Tonight, we are going to go over, definitely we're not going to have a long session like our last video, which went on, I think, over 10 hours. Which is something that's like a marathon, a rarity. We definitely don't want to make it a habit of doing that. But appreciate anybody tuned in for tonight. Tonight is like a, coming out the clear blue sky live session. And as you can see on the screen, the title of tonight's topic is a clarification, or to clarify the words Kami and Kmom as requested by Brother James, also known as Pan-African Designs, when you see his name in the different chats. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to allow a little bit of time for anybody who may be interested in tuning in to tune in. Now, the Brother James, I hope that he is subscribed and get the notification, but if he doesn't, then he will be able to check this out in the archives, because this show is dedicated to his request. He requested that, well, not let me describe it a bit more accurately. The Brother James has come to this channel, and he's welcome to the channel, anytime, but he comes to the channel, and for the past few visits that he's made to the channel, he's asked about the word Kami and Kmom. Well, ever since the brother Jonathan Owens, aka Smash Rockwell, aka the Magi, did a video on it. In fact, let me see, when was his video done? because whatever date that was done is the date that James started to ask about this particular topic. And I am going to quickly, I'm just curious to see when was that video done, just to give some context. Okay, it was done 2 weeks ago. Doesn't have a date, but it was done 2 weeks ago. So for the past 2 weeks, whenever we were live, I think James popped in and asked about these two words, or he made statements about them. So, instead of me taking a screenshot of his statements and everything like that, I'm just giving the context of this. So, again, welcome. Let me turn the chat on so we can see what's good on the chat. And while I'm running my mouth, I see we have Sonnet Emiket, the co-host of the Sesh channel, is in the building. So Emiket, you have any greetings or anything? Okay, I think there's an audio issue. So until then, I will keep running my mouth. But yeah, so we got shout out to Demo, LA, Oklahoma. Demo is in the house. So again, tonight's conversation is going to be a clarification on the two words, Kami and Kmom, which are two Coptic words, by the way, that was brought up by Brother James, aka Pan-African Designs, which is his username on the YouTube chats. So just to give some context of building from last night, last night was a 10 hour video, and Emicat went back and added some timestamps in the description of that video to help people out, because I know for myself, speaking for myself, if I see a video that's 10 hours long, I am definitely not going to watch it unless there's some highlighted timestamps in the description where I can just go to places that interest me in the video, even if the topic is interesting. So she's done that. But just to give a quick summary and context of the conversation from last night as it relates to our live show now is the Brother James has asked a few times about these two words, Kami and Kmom, and he's made statements and asked questions about it. So the context is this, that and I'm paraphrasing heavily and summarizing. The Brother James is he's asking about these two words because he often states that he looks at two people or people that he feels that can read the ancient Egyptian writing system and deal with the language, So he's a subscriber to Smash Rockwell's YouTube channel, and he goes there and Smash goes over information dealing with the ancient Egyptian language, et cetera, et cetera. And then he comes to this channel and maybe other channels and also see people dealing with the language. And so in James's mind, as he says, that when two people that he watches on YouTube channels disagree, then it's an issue and he becomes confused. So he would like to see, okay, well, if one person's saying one thing and the other person's saying another thing, then what's the deal? What's really good with it? And so that's the kind of foundational spirit behind his question that I would like to see the spirit behind his question. But in this instance, what happened is that the brother Smash Rockwell did a video, and I don't know if the whole video is about this, but a portion of his video that was done 2 weeks ago is supposedly addressing a claim made by Asar Imhotep, and brother Smash is trying to correct the brother Asar Imhotep, or pointing out some mistakes and correcting Asar Imhotep. And I say trying because, as we will see, that is not that won't be the case, and you will be able to see that. So the brother James evidently watched that video, and so James is of the mind that Smash Rockwell is correct. And also last night the brother James expressed that he favors listening and following Smash Rockwell's channel, because Smash Rockwell makes things very simple for him, and I guess easier for him to understand. And I had told him that I said, well, I encourage you to definitely watch his videos and pay attention, because if that's the case, then Smash Rockwell is a better fit for his learning endeavor in terms of ancient Egyptian culture, language, and so on and so forth. So that was my suggestion to him. And I also reminded him that he's more than welcome to come on this channel, come on the panel when we open the panel up and things like that. So I'm not sure if he will have the time or if he will make an appearance here, but he'll be able to watch it on the archives. So shout out to the brother James. If you end up watching this in the archives, shout out to you. So we're going to dive in. Hotep Monica Lamb, peace, power, prophet. Okay, so that's the new greeting. Peace, power, prophet. All right. We're going to have to reverse that into Rani Kemet. How do you say that in ancient Egyptian? Peace, power, and prophet, everybody. We're going to figure that out. So I'm not sure. Emicat, did you get your audio sorted? Let's see. All right. I guess there's a little technical issue. All right. So we'll get that together. You know, the forces have been trying to silence Emicat, been trying to silence the women, boy. You got, the like 2 videos ago, you had people trying to shut Emicat down and tell her to be quiet, get in the closet. Last night, boy, and I'm not even going to get into that because, like I said, I don't deal with the drama and the messy things. So, all right. So peace to, we got Five Lightentists in the house, and let's see, who else do we have? All right. So we have 2 minutes. Then we're gonna jump into it here. All right. Let's see if Emicat is back. She left and came back. Let's see if the audio is fixed.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
All right. Yes, we can hear you. So there you.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, they try to silence me out here. It's crazy. But y'all know me. I'm actually gunning to be the second MC Iron Lungs in here. So that's not gonna happen. But yeah, no, this is actually a good show. And if somebody can tag James, I don't even know what if James is on Facebook and under what, because I think this would be good if somebody can tag him. If you're friends with James Pan-African Designs, if you can tag him to just come and join this video, because I think he will definitely appreciate this. And that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, he's on Facebook, but he has a Facebook page, Pan African Designs page. So I'm not sure because I looked and I wanted to post a link to him, but his page doesn't allow me to leave a comment or a post. So yeah, so hopefully he'll pop up, or he'll watch it in archives. Either way, it'd be better if he popped up, because I want to walk through this with him. Now, so let me continue to give the context. So we're gonna jump in. Let me give the context. So that's basically what I was saying is the backdrop of the conversation about the word Kemi and Kmom. Now, so like I said, so James is basing his entire stance on the video that he watched of the brother Smash Rockwell in his attempts to correct the brother Asar Imhotep. on alleged errors that Asar Imhotep made. But we're gonna go through that. So I'm gonna play the video. Now, last night, James was in the chat and he was, being James, as I say, and he was basically saying that we're gonna talk all day and not address it. We never address his questions and things of that nature. And we posted the panel link. He came on the panel, and I wanted to address him directly, and I answered all of his questions that he had, but he was still confused because my answers to his questions did not match the things that Smash Rockwell was saying on the video that he watched. And I pointed that out to him. I was telling him, I'm answering your questions, but you're still wrestling with it because they don't match up or agree with what Smash Rockwell was saying. And I think he didn't see it that way. And so he wanted me to play the video last night and address the video. And I let him know that the way I had everything set up last night, I was unable to do that. That if I had played the video, no audio would be heard. And so I made that clear to him last night. And so today, I told him that I would have to download the video and hook it up a little differently, so I'll be able to play it and we could walk through it. And I'm not sure if he agreed to do that or not, but I told James that that's what I would have to do, and so thus here I am now. So I have downloaded the video and the relevant clip from Smash Rockwell's video, and I'm going to play it, and we're going to walk through the video. The clip is not the entire video. His video is like over an hour long, but the clip that's relevant to this discussion is not that long. And I'm going to play it, and I may pause it to give some commentary and discussion about it. All right, so we're going to walk through it together, and hopefully if James doesn't pop in while we're live, he'll be able to follow in the archive, because hopefully I'll be able to address his concerns and address what Smash Rockwell is saying. All right, so shout out to who we got. We got brother Buxy all the way from the UK is in the building. All right, so now just a quick announcement, a reminder that we are starting our Sabre University book club this coming Sunday at 12 noon, which is our time, Eastern Standard Time. So 12 noon will be the time we start. Now we may shift times and or days depending on how our first day goes and what people will can accommodate and agree to. But we want to kick it off, and so we're going to kick it off this coming Sunday at 12 noon. And to be involved is free. It's a come on, come all. Everyone is invited to participate, and we're going to walk through. Let me see if I can show the book here. All right, so this is the book that we're going to start off with. If y'all can see it, it's called Ethnic Identities in the Land of the Pharaohs, and you will have to purchase this book on your own. It's $20 or less depending on the format that you get. On Kindle, the Kindle version I think is $12, $12 or $13, and paperback is $20. All right, I don't have any stake in the book or anything like that, but this is the book we're gonna walk through, so you will have to get it in order to keep up and read along with what we're as we go from cover to cover. All right, so this is what we're gonna start with: Ethnic Identities in the Land of the Pharaohs by Yerosh Matic. All right, so that's what we're gonna get into starting this Sunday. Now, to sign up though, go to sabreuniversity.com and you'll see the book club listed as a course, and it's free. So the only thing you need to provide is your name and email, and you're in. All right, and so I'll be communicating by way of email to give the link, the meeting link, and everything. All right, so that's why you would need to register or enroll. All right, and also check out Sabre University, the other quick lessons and courses and things like that on there so far. We're going to continually grow and expand the website and all of the information. All right, so now I've done ran my mouth enough, so I'm going to get right on into this. So let me take off the chat. So peace to Donnie Williams hopping into the chat. Now, what I want you all to do, though, I want you all to now, the way that I give presentations and things or just speak, I do not pay attention to the chat as people think that maybe other people do. I don't pay attention to the chat. It's when I actually intentionally pay attention to the chat when I'm finished talking or whatever the case is. Then I'll pay attention to the chat. I'll chime in and engage the chat, answer questions, or read what people are sharing and things like that. All right. So I don't want you to think, I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm ignoring them in any malicious or with any ill intent. All right. It's just that I don't pay attention to the chat while I am presenting things. All right. And I actually suggest other people do the same because, you hear people on the YouTube channels talking midstream in the middle of a sentence. They'll try to address somebody in the chat that triggered them. And then the conversation goes left. We don't have that problem here. And I don't want that to ever start. All right. So let us dive on in. All right. Hopefully you all are ready and get your pens and paper out. So let me get it back on to the first thing here. Okay. So how should I start this? All right. So let me start off by reiterating the title. So the title of today's show is clarifying two Coptic words, Kemi and Kmom. And this was requested by the brother James of Pan-African Designs last night. All right, so that's what we're going to jump into and get into. But starting off everything, I want to strongly, strongly advocate, encourage, push, whatever, for people to read. And what's inherent or naturally default within reading is comprehension, reading comprehension. Now, I personally don't think people read as much as I thought or as I perceived in the past. Like, in my experience on social media from the time I've, first came on Facebook and things like that, this is just something that I notice in my experiences that I don't see people reading like I used to. And that could be a consequence of a number of things. So I don't know, but all I do know is that I'm going to advocate and push people to read. All right, read. And it's very important to read and study, just in general. But more specifically, if you're going to have discussions and engage people, whether you're debating someone, arguing with someone about a subject matter or a topic, you definitely should be well read in that topic. If you're going to take a stance to the point where you're going to argue and debate where there's a volley back and forth, that should be a prerequisite or a requirement. And so that's what I'm advocating for people to do. All right. So I want to start with that and give that. Okay. So now to jump in, we're going to, I'm going to play Smash Rockwell's video. All right. And like I said, I'm going to pause it from time to time to give some commentary on it. So again, this was the timestamp that the brother James gave me on it. Now, I don't think I have to give any backdrop to it. Hopefully I grabbed enough of the clip. Now, what I always like to suggest for people to do when I play clips is for people to go to the original video and then watch it for as long as you need to gain more context if you need it, because obviously I'm not going to play the whole video. And so I have to take a clip of it, and I try to take enough of the clip to capture the context of the statements and conversation as best as I can. But in case I don't, in case I miss anything, then I always encourage people to go watch the original video. All right. I don't want to take anything out of context or misconstrue anything. That's not something that nobody should be doing. All right. All right. So I'm going to play the video and then we're going to go. So I will prep the video. So this is Smash Rockwell, Jonathan Owens, the Magi Archer, on his channel. And he is addressing Asar Imhotep, correcting Asar Imhotep, pointing out a mistake that Asar Imhotep made and correcting him about these two Coptic words. And so this is what James brought to my attention and asked me about. So the reason why I'm doing this is because James came here with it and asked me to deal with it. And so that's what we're going to go in on. All right. So let us begin. MK, you got anything before I hog the mic from you?
No, not really. I'm just yeah, just looking forward to going through it, and I hope people yeah, I'll probably link the video from yesterday just to put it on the chat for the archive, so that people can go over both videos, what you did yesterday and smash master a video, just so we have it for other people that might watch it as new people who are not privy to the conversation yesterday from James. But I do want to say one thing though. The video from yesterday is timestamped, right? And just remember when you're watching this that James was very adamant about why Uja was, trying to dodge this and this being Asar's work and everything, and like they should know already, that, and clearly he's saying this from his perspective because of what Smash had said and taking that as authoritative, and then bringing it forward to us. So yeah, just keep that in mind while watching this. If you were there yesterday, you remember how James was trying to be condescending on the panel, talking about he's the dumbest person on the chat, and yet he could see what is on the screen that clearly says what Asar said. So just keep that in mind.
All right, so let's jump in. So yes, the brother James was being very, very animated in the chat yesterday, and yeah. So this is a shout out. This is dedicated to brother James. All right, so I'm gonna play the video. Let me remove. No. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna take a listen. Now listen, I'm gonna play the video, and I will definitely need a favor from you all in the chat. When I play the video, you all let me know if you can hear it. Just type yes, I can hear it. Then I'll just let it keep on playing. But if I get any no's, then I'll have to sort that out. All right. So here we go.
There has been work done by many of scholars prior to Sheikh Anta-Diop to substantiate the blackness in the black land. We're not talking about what it's attributed to, but the fact that that term meant black. And so I was sitting here looking over some of the Demotic recordings, if you can see my mouse to the left of the screen. The Demotic recordings of some of these terms and equating them to the two, while I was assessing an elementary mistake one of my peers made.
So the elementary mistake that one of his peers made that he's speaking of is Asar Imhotep. All right. Now so I'm gonna play the video and I'm gonna pause it like this and give my commentary like I'm doing right now. All right. So I'm just telling you all how this is gonna proceed forward. So what Smash is showing on his screen is the Coptic etymological dictionary by Cerny. Okay, and I had pulled it up last night as well to go over this last night in me answering James's question. But as I said earlier, my answers don't match what Smash Rockwell was saying, so James is still confused because of that. So, and I take it as James is not listening to my answers. He's favoring whatever Smash Rockwell says And now he would love for my answers to match his, but because they don't, then he's still wrestling with it. All right. And I understand it. I get that. So hopefully this will clarify, James, and we're going to proceed forward here. Now, hopefully you all will still be able to hear it when I resume the play.
By saying that, first of all, it was all kind of mistakes in there. But it was saying that the Coptic Kmom term, well, someone cited the wrong term for Kmom, for blackness in Coptic, and then cited another term and said those two terms are different words and not cognate. And I was like, dang, why somebody do that? I could have helped fix that real quick. When you look at, even if we look into how it's written in the Demotic, even if you don't even know Demotic, look at these symbols over here. This symbol, as I recall it, obviously is a K, but they got this H right here, which is, I don't even want to mess this up, but just from knowing Medew Netcher, both of those sounds are represented here. I'm not clear on these three strokes here, but then we go to the M right here. And again, we're going to pull up a Demotic, we'll pull up Demotic script and verify what I'm saying.
So let me stop right here. And I have to correct the brother Smash here. So this is my first correction for the brother, what the brother Smash is saying. So number one, Demotic is written from right to left. Okay, where his arrow is the Demotic script. So he's incorrect. He's looking at it backwards. He's saying the K is on the left, but actually the K is on the right. It's Km, and then those three strokes that he said he wasn't sure about is actually the Y. And the transliteration is on the other side of the parentheses. So if you look at the Demotic where his arrow is, then you see in parentheses it has ER period 564 comma Roman numeral 1. And then in parentheses, and then a comma, and then Kimi. So that Demotic that his arrow is on is actually the word Kimi. K being on the right, the M being that character that looks like the number 3, that's the M, and then the three strokes, what looks like a 3 strokes, is the actual Y. So it's in reverse because it's read from right to left. All right, so that's correction number 1 to what Smash was saying. Now, in order to demonstrate that a bit further, I want you all to, so the ER in this particular dictionary that Smash is showing, which is the Coptic Etymological Dictionary by J. Cerny. In this dictionary, what he has in parentheses that you see on the screen are citations. Okay, so for example, where you see Kmom 110a, that's the Coptic Egyptian dictionary, not the etymological one, but the regular Coptic dictionary by Kmom, page 110, column A. That's what that stands for. The one below it, which is next to the Demotic, which you see ER period 564 comma Roman numeral 1, that is another text or source. So I have that particular source, and I'm going to show that particular page. So ER is Erickson. His name is Waljo or Walja. It's almost sound like my name, Wuja. How many people mispronounce my name, Wuja. But the author of that particular text is Walja Erickson. And so the ER is for his last name. And it's a Demotic vocabulary book. Okay, in page 564 of either column 1 or volume 1. I believe it's in volumes. So I'm going to switch my screen over so you all can see that this particular text. So here's the particular text here. This is from his text, which is Walter Erickson, done in 1954. This is page 564. And the title of his text is Demotic Glossary or Demotic Vocabulary. All right. So now I know you can't see it. This is the page, but I'm going to have to blow it up. And as a matter of fact, I think I need to move all of this over a bit. I'm going to have to blow this up. All right. So this is page 564. And I know you all can't see my cursor, so let me put on my trusty arrow here. This is page 564, and it starts with Kemi, but the entry is the first entry, Kemi, Km, and they use a J instead of a Y, by the way. This is the German transliteration system where they use a J instead of the Y. So sometimes you may see that in transliteration systems that will change out Kemi either with a J or with a Y. But so this is the demotic that you see. So look at this demotic here. Okay. Now demotic is written from right to left. So you're going to read this way. Okay. So you have the front of the word, the M, the Y, and then the end of the word. All right. So it reads it this way. So turn my cursor back around. So now this is the word for Egypt. This is the demotic word for the country, kingdom, nation, Egypt. Okay, you see the German word Egyptian, and you see the glyphs here, and it also gives Kmom. Now I want you to see how there's cross reference here. So Kmom, here's the Coptic here, and you see Kmom. Page 110, column A. Then you see this set of glyphs here for Sesh, Medew, Netcher, Middle Egyptian, and the WB stands for the Waterbach, written by Ermin Grapal and team. Volume 5, page 126. This is where you'll find this. So these are all references here, all citations. But the word itself is the demotic way of writing Egypt. That's what this word is in German, Egypt. Okay? Egypt, Egypt, Egypt. All right, so I just want you all to see, I'm just sharing this because I want you all to see how the Coptic etymological dictionary is making reference to this dictionary, which is making reference back to Kmom and also to the Waterbach ancient Egyptian dictionary. Okay? All right, so just wanted to share that with y'all there. All right, so let's get back to this here. Okay, so now on his screen, his cursor, that white cursor, is pointing to the demotic, and you can see how it matches. So, so look at it there, and look at it here. All right, so you should see it as a match. All right, I don't want to dwell on this, but I just want you all to make sure that it's the same word. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna let it play, and I think hopefully by me switching back and forth, it'll still play for you guys. All right, so let's listen up.
But even if you don't even know it, you could just look at some of the symbols in Kmi and then go to the term that is actually used for black. The adjective can, and you can see the M and what appears to be, I don't want to mess that up, but you could just look at the similar symbols in the two words and start to get something. What I was tripping off is I got to identify what's this K, how this K is written here.
So again, demotic, this is just a reminder for everybody who's tuned in. Demotic is written from right to left. Likewise with hieratic. All right, so it's the right to left direction. Just want to make sure you all understand that. All right, so I'm gonna let it play.
But a mistake Brother Asar made in his preliminary assessment of the work being done, and I had to grab the quote so that I could make sure I wasn't tripping, was that in Coptic, black is Kmom, or whatever the Coptic equivalents are. I'm just saying that in the English script. Y'all see what looks like Kmom. I should be saying the Coptic names for them, but I don't know them offhand. But this is a verb to become black. To become black. And we even have the ancient Egyptian cognate, which is Kmm. But contrary to what the good brother put out, Kame is actually black, the adjective. So I'm going to go, I had the quote on hand as I was just putting together things to illustrate for people. Let's see if I could pull the quote back up. Or maybe I'll close that down. And so then we start talking about work done. So the quote was, in English, it is long overdue for the change to be made that Kemet means fertile land and Jesheret means desert dry land. The colors black and red are both erroneous and have caused confusion. We know they are erroneous because Coptic uses the word Kami for nation and Kmom for black. Two different words. This is a quote by Asar Imhotep.
All right, so I'm going to have to pause it there. All right, so now here's where things get messed up, for lack of a better word. And it's an easy fix. And so I'm going to fix it right here, right now. All right. So the brother Smash Rockwell is under the impression, and by him reading this, gave the impression to his audience that this statement that he just read is from Asar Imhotep, is a claim being made by Asar Imhotep. So now, before I get into that, whether it's from Asar Imhotep or not, I want to go back to the fact that Smash Rockwell did not read what we actually see correctly. So, for example, what he has in red, when he read that, he said, "We know they are erroneous because Coptic uses the word kami for nation." Smash skipped over the word the, and that's a very important thing, and will cause an error. Then he says, and Kmom for black. So he skipped the color when he read it. Then he said two different words, and then he says that this is from Asar Imhotep. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because whether this is actually a quote from Asar Imhotep or not, to read that sentence like that, it changes the message of the sentence. Okay, because what the actual sentence actually says is, we know that they are erroneous because Coptic uses the word kami for the nation. So in other words, Coptic uses the word kami for the nation of Egypt, and Kmom for the color black. So what this statement is saying is that the word kami is referring to the nation of ancient Egypt, and Kmom is a word that's referring to the color black. That's what that, see, and this is why I start off by saying reading and reading comprehension is very important, because missing one word, and I'm not saying this to belittle anyone, because we all can make these kind of mistakes, and we all have. I have, the best of the best have. So people who are astute professionals, PhDs, degreed up and down and stuff like that, everybody can make these kinds of mistakes. So I don't want to come off and sound like these mistakes are like, wow, and or anything like that. But what I am doing is I'm pointing out the mistake because it is a significant mistake to make. It changes the entire point of what we're reading. Okay? So never once does this statement say we know they are erroneous because Coptic uses the word Kami for nation. It says for the nation because the reason why I'm pointing this out and staying here for a second is because read the way, or when we hear Smash read it the way he read it and the way that he interpreted it, he thinks that whoever wrote this, now he's saying Asar wrote, this is Asar's quote, but we're going to find that out in a second. But whoever wrote this, whether it's Asar or not, that they're saying that the Coptic word Kami means nation. And it doesn't. That's not what it said. That's not what this statement is saying. It's saying that Coptic uses the word Kami for the nation. What nation? Egypt. And it uses the word Kmom for the color. So one word is used for the country or the nation, and the other word is used for the color. That's all this statement is saying. And the fact that they're two different words. Kmom is different from Kami. That's a fact. The word Kmom, even as Smash said, that is a verb. And it's from this verb that the adjective was derived. So Kmom means to become black or to be black. And then Kami is the word for Egypt. Is the Coptic word for Egypt. All right. So I just want to point that out and make sure that that's crystal clear. All right. So James, if you're watching this in the archive, I hope that point settles well with you, and we're going to continue on.
False premise starting out your argument.
So Smash made a comment just now. He said the false premise starting out your argument. So he's is saying this is Asar's argument, and he's saying Asar starting off wrong. All right. Now I'm going to take some time now to share my screen, and we're going to go to where this quote actually comes from. Okay. So you all see the quote on the screen. Now, mind you, what Smash Rockwell is sharing right now on his screen is Google Drive, a Google Doc. That's something he typed. Okay, this is not any direct work or anything like that from Asar or anybody else. This is something that Smash Rockwell had either pasted in or typed in, because this is a Google document. All right. So let's see, where did this actually come from? All right. So let me share my screen, and we're going to pull it up. And let's see. Can I find it? Give me 1 second here. I just now had it. Here we are. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. And this is the internet, and this is the Quora website. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with Quora as a website. It's like a Q&A website and stuff like that, where people ask questions and people chime in and answer questions. You know, it's got some really good stuff on there, and it has some left field stuff out there too. So be careful. But let me make this bigger, because I know you all can't see that. Okay. So this is a post that was done by the sister Deidre Ramses McIntyre. I'm familiar with this sister from Facebook, and many of you may be familiar with her as well on Facebook, because she has a focus on ancient Egypt, Nubia, as people call it, or Taseti and things like that. So she's in those Facebook groups. I think she was in the Amara Squad Facebook group. I know she's in the Taseti Facebook group. I think she was in our Seshu Mani Medew Netcher Facebook group and things like that. So she's around, and she has tenure in these kinds of discussions. So that's who this person is. And I guess she labeled herself as an African-centered researcher and writer. Now, so let me scroll up, because this whole thread, this whole Quora thread is dealing with a question called, how does Kemet mean black land when the Egyptian word for land was Ta? For example, Ta Seti, land of the bows, Ta Netcher, land of the gods, etc. So somebody posted this question originally. And so I guess the sister Deidre, if I scroll down back to her, the sister Deidre is offering an answer to that particular question. So this is Deidre's writing. This is her comment and her answer. So she's saying Kemet doesn't mean black land any more than Deshret means red land. So that's not Asar Imhotep. That's the sister Deidre. And then she gives a picture, and then she continues. She says, Ta is land, but the 049 determinant and even the older N2023 determinant are geographic determinants, which, by the way, as an FYI, I refer to as toponymic determinatives. Okay, and this is what I express and show in our publication. She says, are geographic determinants indicating habitable, irrigated, fertile land as compared to the desert that was unwatered, barren, and inhabitable. Now she referenced Asar Imhotep, which shows you that this is not Asar Imhotep's writing all of this. She's referring to him. So she says, Asar Imhotep provides an excellent explanation of how determinatives determine meaning as it relates to Kemet. So Deidre provides a screenshot. This picture right here is from Asar Imhotep's work, his 2014 work. This is an article. This screenshot is from an article that Asar Imhotep did in 2014, which is what, 8 years ago? No, 14. No. 8 years ago. Yeah. So this is 8-year old article that Asar did. So she shows the picture here. Then she says, and she shows another screenshot. So she shows 2 screenshots from Asar's work. And then she provides a link to get Asar's full document. So the 2016 document that she took screenshots from is called A Lesson in Egyptian Determinatives, the Case of Kemet. And you see the thumbnail picture of it there. Now, I have this particular text done by Asar Imhotep, and I'm going to share it on the screen in a little bit. All right. So Deidre is citing Asar Imhotep about the determinatives. That's her point. Okay. Then she continues after she provides a link for people to get his full document. Then Deidre continues and says, essentially, Kemet was referring not to the color of its soil, but to the fertility of its soil caused by the Nile water irrigation that led to the rise of its sedentary civilization. That's what Deidre is saying. She continues to say, in English, it is long overdue for the change to be made that Kemet means fertile land and Deshret means desert or dry land. The colors black and red are both erroneous and have caused confusion. We know they are erroneous because Coptic uses the word Kami for the nation and Kmom for the color black, 2 different words. Now, Jonathan or Smash only took this and pasted it in his Google document, but he attributed it to Asar instead of attributing it to the sister Deidre. All right. But she continues, as we can see. The Coptic comparison is supported by African linguistics, including Cameroonian Egyptologist Oscar Pafuma, who showed several African languages that use different KM/GM words for municipalities as compared to the color for black that often uses KM/GM words of a different type. So then she gives 2 more screenshots, two more screenshots from a forum an online forum. And she says it. She says the above clip is from a 2017 Egypt Search Board discussion thread that cites Perfuma, whose works are written in French, as stating Kemet is a municipal term and not a color for black, then showing examples of African languages that work similarly to Coptic in providing KM, GM words that differ when discussing municipalities versus the color black. And then she goes on and on and on. So my point for this is to correctly attribute who this particular quote is actually from. This quote here, from here to here, that I have highlighted on the screen, is what Smash has. Let me put Smash's picture back up. So you see what he has there. Now he colored it red for emphasis, because obviously hers is not red, but he colored it red for emphasis. But he did not read the word the, and he did not read the word color. He skipped over those words when he read it. But so what I am doing at this point is removing Asar from being a quotation of him and putting it properly, attributing it to the sister Deidre McIntyre. I believe that's her name. Okay, so when Smash says that Asar made mistakes and that his premise is wrong and things like that, we should now clearly see that this is not even Asar. Okay, so we can actually end the conversation right now as it pertains to Asar Imhotep. But I'm not gonna, just end the conversation now. I wanna actually continue to point out some things further. All right, because we're here to learn a bit. All right, so now with it properly attributed, now I want to get back to what Deidre actually said. So we can clearly see that Deidre says that Coptic uses the word Kami for the nation. She never said that that the Coptic word Kami means nation. And this is what I pointed out to the brother James last night. She never said that the Coptic word Kami means nation. She said that the Coptic word Kami is used for the nation. And the Coptic word Kmom is used for the color black. And that the fact that they're two different words. And Deidre is absolutely correct about that. So even if it was Asar Imhotep's quote that he said, he would be correct. Because correct is correct, no matter who says it, right? So I only wanted to properly attribute whose wording this is for the sake of being accurate, all right? But if it was Asar, John Doe, Jane Doe, Deidre, or whoever, this statement that's in red is actually absolutely correct. Now, Smash Rockwell thinks it's incorrect and wrong, which is why he's doing this part of this video. But I understand why he thinks it's wrong, because he misread it. And what I want to point out is just by misreading one word, he skipped over the word the. So in his mind, he thinks that Asar, or whoever wrote this, in his head, he thinks it's Asar. So he thinks Asar is saying Kami means nation. And this doesn't even say that. So let's let it play, and we're gonna keep it moving. And hopefully this will hopefully I don't have to start this thing over here.
We know they are erroneous because Coptic uses the word Kami for nation. Who told you that?
So I have to pause that here. So you see how Smash says, he read it again and missed the word the. He said, we know they're erroneous because Coptic uses the word Kami for nation. He said, who told you that? And I just find that strange, because who told you that, Smash? Because that's not what it actually says on the screen. It says Kami is used for the nation. All right. So I thought that was a little strange right there. But let's just keep it playing.
That's incorrect.
No, it's not incorrect. Smash's reading of this and understanding of what he read I should say misread is what's incorrect at this point. All right, so I'm just walking through this and pointing things out to you all so we can settle this, and hopefully James will be able to watch this in the archive and he'll be crystal clear about this. Now this is what James asked for. All right, he asked me to do it. He claimed that I don't do it and I'm gonna talk all day and dodge it. I'm dodge this and dodge that. So here it is and here I am. All right. So shout out to you, James.
And they don't use either of these words for either of the terms you projected.
Smash is also incorrect about that, as we're gonna see. All right.
They do not use Kami, as I'll illustrate, for nation.
Nobody said that Kami is used for nation. You see how he's even highlighting. Like, let's look at what he has highlighted. Kami for the nation. It doesn't say Kami for nation. And I'm gonna stick to that because that's a big difference. That one article, definite article, the, in front of the word nation makes a big difference in what is meant in this sentence. It clearly says that Coptic uses the word Kami for the nation and Kmom for the color, black. So if we wanted to simplify this, Kami is used for the nation, Kmom is used for the color, and they're two different words. That's what the sister Deidre is saying, and she's absolutely correct about that. All right, so let's let it continue.
Nor do they use for black. They actually use Kami for black.
That is incorrect. Kami is not used for black. It's used for the word Egypt, as we saw, which is the nation. See, Egypt is the country. Another word for country is a nation. We got the United States of America is a country. It is a nation. And in the international definition of the word state, it's a state. Okay? So all those words are synonymous to each other. Egypt is a nation. Right now, the Arab Republic of Egypt right now is a nation. But we also call it a country. And on the international stage, in the international vernacular, it's a state. Now, in the United States, we don't call, the United States of America, we have 50 states in the United States, and that's a different definition of a state. Countries are states on the world stage, on the international stage. But anyway, I'm gonna let it play. So I don't want to keep stopping every point. I want to get through this, and hopefully we'll be done. But I'm gonna open this up for Q&A after I'm done. All right. So if I need to repeat anything or whatever, but right now just know that I'm not paying attention to the chat. So don't think I'm ignoring you with any ill intent, but I will be engaging the chat once I'm done.
And they use Kmom for a verb to become black. And so in order not to, we do have to refer to the experts. It'd be kind of like, dang, you could just say anything. So we're going to make this very easy. And all of these definitions are sourceable in Chrom's dictionary.
So he pulled up the online Coptic dictionary. And so if you saw, what he searched for and what he went to, I would suggest that you screenshot it. So if you're interested, you can do the same thing. Now, I have the Crumbs dictionary myself. And like I said, I tell people, I think I have, I don't even know. I stopped saying I think. because I'm more confident that I have all the dictionaries on the Egyptian language and languages that I don't even speak or read. I have the Demotic dictionaries, the vocabularies, the grammars. I have the Coptic. I have the ancient Egyptian dictionaries and things like that. But anyway, this is the online version of Crumb's, one of them that you all can look this stuff up and you'll see him type in. But I want y'all to pay attention to what he types in, which is going to confirm his misunderstanding of Deidre's statement. Okay? Because he's going to look up the word nation. And that's not what she's saying. She didn't say that Kami means nation. She said that the word Kami is used for the nation. Now, if I were her, I would have clarified, made it even more clear and say Kami is used for the nation of Egypt. I would have added of Egypt there because the word Kami is the Coptic word for Egypt. It's the Coptic word for ancient Egypt. It's just that simple. And I'm going to show you all that in a second. But let me let this play.
Let's just type the word.
I was going to say that one of the important things to note, just to help people understand on this point, is the being a definitive article in itself. And when somebody uses it, it will actually point to a specific thing. So when you say the nation, you're not actually saying nation itself, but you're actually pointing to a specific nation. And that's what articles does. And I think you can expound more on that just to kind of clarify, even if it was used and why it's actually important not to overlook that the particle that comes before the noun, the nation. So when you say the nation, you're not talking about any kind of nation, but a particular nation in that sense. And definitely you're not saying that is a definition of a word.
Excellent point. That's what definite articles are for. All right. You have indefinite articles, a and an, and definite articles is the or the, depending on how you pronounce it. All right. So let's let this play and continue.
Nation.
So you see that he's looking up nation.
I'm going to do it all thoroughly for you. Don't trip. None of the terms proposed. Can y'all see this?
So again, Smash is accusing Asar of having a faulty premise starting off out the gate. But in actuality, it is Smash Rockwell that has a faulty premise out the gate, because he's assuming by incorrectly reading Deidre's statement that he believes that she, but in his mind he thinks it's Asar, but he believes that she is saying Kemi means nation. But as Emike pointed out, she's clearly saying Kemi is the Coptic word used for the nation. What nation is that? The context of her whole post and answering the original question that I showed is Egypt. So Kami is used for the nation of Egypt. It's the Coptic word for Egypt. If I wanted to say Egypt in Coptic, I would say Kami. And by the way, Kami would be the Baharic dialect version. Kame would be the Sahidic, or I may have that reverse. So somebody keep me honest. I may have it reversed. So one of them is Sahidic, and the other one is Baharic. And that's another thing that I'm going to explain later that I think James was confused about. And I believe that Smash Rockwell may not be very familiar with based on what he says later. But let me let this play.
They don't even got that term, and it definitely ain't what you said it was. So this is going through, it's an online Coptic dictionary, but let's go see what the terms that he says, let's go look. We know this is erroneous because Coptic uses the word Kami for nation.
See, this is about the fourth or fifth or sixth time that Smash read what he highlighted in red, and he highlighted it with his cursor, but he skipped over the definite article the. I lost count, but I believe this may be the sixth time that he did this. And I'm stuck on that because that's a major change in the semantic meaning of what Deidre means. And I can't stress that enough. You can't skip over words when somebody's trying to express something or convey something. And then especially if you're attempting to correct them. So again, Smash Rockwell has a wrong interpretation of what she's saying because he is skipping over the word the. She is not saying that the word Kami means nation. She's saying that the Coptic word Kami is used for the nation. And the Coptic word Kmom is used for the color black. It's really simple. And this to me is basic, but now I can see, now like I said, skipping over words can happen to all of us. So I don't want to come off like this is a I'm stuck here, but I don't want to come off like this is a wow thing. But I'm stuck here because this is a significant thing in trying to find out what is Deidre really trying to say. Because evidently Smash has a wrong mischaracterization of what she's saying. And this is a baby form of a straw man violation, which is a logical fallacy. And what that is when somebody misconstrues a claim by somebody and then argues against that misconstrued version. And that's what Smash is doing right now. He's misconstruing what she said, and now he's actually arguing against that misconstrued version that he created. Okay, so let this be a lesson, and let this be a case study for what not to do. All right, so I just want to make that clear. But let's keep going.
Let's type that word in here. What's the word, brother? Kami with the I. Zero results. Okay, let me show you how to get results on that. You don't have to type it there. You just simply type BLACK. This should be hella easy and hella funny. You don't have to do that. Just type BLACK and see what you come up with.
So make note that he didn't find a result in him spelling Kami, Kami, the way we would describe those Greek or Coptic characters. He typed in the English black, so he basically did a reverse search. He typed in the translation of black to see what Coptic words would come up, okay? And so these are the results. There are 11 results, as you can see. It says you search definitions matching black in language, and it says 11 results. So I'm going to let him explain, but I'm going to point out something after he says it.
Okay, now let's go back, because the brother said Kami for nation.
That's the 7th time. Now I lost track, but he read it again and still skipped the word the. He said Kami for nation, and I don't know what it is about about that word the on the screen. I don't know why he keeps skipping it. I mean, I could see it. Can y'all see? I mean, you know, I can't. I'm not paying attention to the chat, but I know everybody sees it. I know I'm not the only one that sees that word the, because he has it in red. But let's keep going.
Okay, let's not mess that up. Not K-A.
And he said, let's not mess it up, but he messed it up like 8 times already. That's crazy. But all right, let's keep going.
M-E. But what we don't understand is, look, we about to show all of this. First of all, this is Egypt right here. Okay, everybody, we just gonna show people. I'm not telling you my knowledge. I'm showing you what's in the Coptic dictionary. So does it end? What is it ending with right here? Does that look like an I? But what does this say right here? This is the
Okay, so now to that point, I want to pause because so what Smash may or may not know, but he's not, based on what he said here, I don't think he knows what I'm about to say. Coptic, matter of fact, let me show y'all. I can show y'all better than I could tell y'all. So let me switch on over here. All right. So now remember the point I am on. Okay. So Smash is pointing out, Smash Rockwell, he's pointing out the spelling. All right, that it's an E and not an I. And he's making a point to deal with that. So I want to share this with you all. I think I have to unshare first and share again. Give me one moment. And again, I appreciate anybody who's tuned in. Like I said, I'm not paying attention to the chat right now. I will be engaging the chat. I will open up for Q&A. And I don't even know how many people are watching. I could be sitting here talking to myself right now. Okay. So now this is the wiki article, Wikipedia. So everybody has access to Wikipedia. You can actually look this up in real time with me if you would like. If you go to Wikipedia and type in Coptic language, you're going to get the wiki article on the Coptic language. All right. So now, what I want you to make note of is that Coptic has several dialects, and in these various dialects, they have different variations of spellings for the same words. Okay. Remember that, and I'm gonna repeat it. Coptic consists of many dialects, and within these dialects, there are different various spellings for the same words throughout the language. So, as it states here, the major Coptic dialects are Sahidic, Baharic, Achaemenic, Fayumic, Lycopolitan, and Oxyrhynchite. And I'm pretty sure I butchered that pronunciation there, so don't laugh at me. But these are the major Coptic dialects. Okay, so when Smash Rockwell was showing on his screen the online Coptic dictionary spelling the Coptic word for the country Egypt, or for the nation of Egypt, he showed only one dialect of it. But I'm going to show you that one and the other major one. Okay, so if I scroll down, you're going to see here, the native Coptic name for the language is, and you see this here? I want you to see that what I have highlighted. Hopefully y'all can see what I have highlighted there. This word here is the word Egypt. Now, this is how it's spelled in the Baharic dialect. But when I show you here the same word Egypt in the Sahidic dialect, it is this word that Smash showed, which is simply the Sahidic dialect. Okay? K, H, what we would call a K, an H, an M, and an E. Up here you have an X, H, M, and an I. So see, it ends in I in Baharic, but it ends in E. And this will be, I believe this is an, I'm not even going to attempt to say which letter this is. One is an epsilon, I believe. And, you know, I'm definitely rusty on my Greek, on my labels for the Greek alphabet. So somebody can help me out in the chat. And I'm going to engage the chat a little later. But the point here is that these are the same words, but they're two different dialects. So I'm only pointing this out. Yeah, the E is epsilon, and the I forget what the I is. But I'm only pointing this out because Smash pointed it out, and he's implying something that's not true. Now I want you to see this here. Even in the Wikipedia article, it says the word for Egypt. I want y'all to notice this. It says the word for Egypt, which is Kemi or Kime, and then they spell it both ways right here. They spell it with XHMI, and then you have KHME. Cross-reference, Kemet. So that's the word for Kemet. That is the Coptic word for Kemet, which we know is the nation of Egypt, ancient Egypt. Okay? All right. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, and we're going to keep it moving. Let me take this off. Oh, before I go, this E is epsilon, and this I is iota, I believe. Again, somebody keep me honest. You can do that later on. All right, so let's keep it going. So let's go back to Smash's presentation. And again, this is for those who are tuning in now. I want to remind you all that the title of this live is based on a request by the brother James, Pan African Designs. He asked me to watch this clip of Smash doing this, and he wanted me to address it. And he was hoping that that I agree with Smash or whatever the case is, or vice versa, and things like that. And he was confused. So I'm addressing these things, and hopefully the brother James will watch this in archive because he's not here. I was hoping that he would be here. I would invite him onto the panel so we can walk through this together. But anyway, I'm going to keep it moving.
This is the term that the brother said meant to be black, but it's incorrect. It means to become black. It's a verb. Don't mess that up. It don't mean black. This means black. See? So that's incorrect. It's an error to say that Cami means nation.
See, Deidre never said Cami means nation. And again, I'm staying there because this is how trajectory works. When you start off with the wrong trajectory, your final destination is going to be way off. And so in argument theory 101, in those terms, you never acquiesce to a faulty premise, because if you do, you will always be led to a faulty conclusion. And so what Smash is doing is he has launched his conversation off based on a faulty understanding of what he read. Therefore, everything he says after that is gonna be on a trajectory of being faulty as well. And so that's why everything he's saying now is at fault. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. And this is an easy fix. It's an easy fix if we just go back and stick the word "the" back in there where it actually is, and say that Deidre is simply saying that the Coptic word Cami is the Coptic word used for the nation, and that the word Kmom is the word that's used for the color. All right, it's really just that simple. But let's keep going.
This is not translated as no nation. This is Egypt right here. Let's click in here.
Okay, so that's the end of the clip. So that concludes the clip that I wanted to point out, and that's what James had wanted me to go over. All right. So again, just to do a quick review on here, this is the Demotic, and this is the only reason why I had this on the screen, is that just to let everyone know, Demotic is read from right to left. So this is the word Cami. This is the Demotic way of saying Kemet. Okay, if you want to know what Kemet and the place name Kemet, the word for Egypt, which is Kemet, if you want to know how it looks in Demotic, that's what you're looking at on the screen, and it's Cami. Okay, and you see how it is in German, Egypt, and he cites the Wörterbuch, and this person cites, and this is by and if you all want to know, let me shrink this back so if you all can get the citation and the source, if you all are interested. It is Demotic Glossary or Demotic Vocabulary by Wolja Erickson. done in 1954. And this is page 564. All right. So that's that. Now, what I also want to share is, now let's go back to the etymological dictionary. I want to pull that up if I can. Here we are, right here. So, wow, wait a minute. All right, here we go. So here's the Coptic dictionary, and I don't think you all can see it just yet, but now you can. All right, here we go. So this is the Coptic etymological dictionary by J. Cerny. And this is what Smash was showing on his screen. Okay. So I'm showing it to do this review. Now, what I want you all to understand and know that we have the word Kmom. Okay. Now, when you see Krum in parentheses, this is the regular Coptic dictionary written by Krum, and it's page 109, column B. And Kmom, it means become black. And this is and this is where now mind you, this etymological dictionary, when it's titled etymological dictionary, it's the Coptic etymological dictionary. So what it's doing, its intention is to trace the Coptic forms of these words back to their Sesh, Medew, Netcher forms. So it's a limited etymology. So let me repeat that. This dictionary is simply taking the Coptic words and tracing them back to their previous staged forms. But it's not a true etymological dictionary where you're tracing out the entire history of the word. So that needs to be made known and be mindful of. I don't want people to think that this is an etymological dictionary in the true sense of etymology. Etymology is the study of the history of words. This is only one level of diachronic analysis, going from Coptic back to Middle Egyptian. Okay? Just want y'all to understand that. So what this dictionary is doing is giving you the Coptic form here, Kmom, and then it's showing you the Middle Egyptian form in the hieroglyphs, Kem. Okay? Kem. Now, they put the M, and I don't know if y'all can see my cursor there, in parentheses because this verb Kmom, or Kmem in Middle Egyptian, as we would say it in Middle Egyptian, Kmem, the M is missing. And so they put it in parentheses. That's why you don't see the glyph, another glyph for an owl, or the half blunt for the M, the other consonant M here. All right, so now let's keep going. Now you have the word Keme for the word black. Now notice in the hieroglyphs, they look identical. You see these? They look identical. One is a verb, and the other one functions as an adjective. This one is Kmem, and this one is Kim. But by looking at the glyphs, you will not tell the difference. You can't tell the difference. They're the same. Because the Sesh, Medew, Netcher, aka hieroglyphic writing script, did not document the vowels. So what Coptic does in this instance, it reveals that these two words are actually pronounced differently, because the Coptic writing system did document the vowels. So in Middle Egyptian, we would say Kim for both. That's how we would pronounce this, Kim. In our modern convention. But looking at the Coptic, we could see that this one is Kmom and this one is Kame. Kame. I believe that's Kappa, Alpha, Mu, Epsilon. If I'm correct, somebody keep me honest now, because my Greek is definitely rusty. My description of the Greek alphabet and everything. All right. So let's keep going down. Let's go to this one. You see this right here? This is Keme. This is the word for Egypt. This is the Coptic version of the place name Kemet. The T is not there. It's lost. Now that's another thing. And this is what we were trying to tell people, that the only reason why Coptic even came up in these conversations is because people are not aware that Coptic is not helpful to our research question. And here's the reason why. Because Coptic does not have any determinatives. And Coptic omitted some of the consonants. Like, for example, the very word for deity or divine or God, the Egyptian word Netcher that everybody's familiar with, in Coptic, it don't even have an R. It's called, in Coptic, it's Nute. Nute. It's not Netcher or Netter. It's Nute. Nute. Kemet in Coptic is not Kemet. It's Keme. The T is gone. So not only are there no determinatives in Coptic, but Coptic omits. By the time Coptic comes around, there's a lot of changes and omissions in these words. So relying on Coptic, the only people that keep bringing up Coptic are people who don't know what I just told you, what I just said, and don't know the significance of what I just said. All right. So anyway, the Coptic word for the place name Egypt, which is a nation, is Keme. And Demotic is Kemi. And you see that here. All right. And if we can keep going, now you have Rem in Kemet. You have the R here. You have the Mu or M in, and then Keme. Rem in Keme. That is the same as the Middle Egyptian Remich ni Kemet. Remich ni Kemet, which means the people of Kemet. Or we could say the people of Egypt. So this is the Coptic way of saying it. But notice the T is missing from there. But now in this dictionary, it's telling you it's Egyptian. And here's the glyphs for it. Remich ni Kemet. If y'all can see my cursor there. Remich ni Kemet. The people of Kemet. In the singular, they say Remich ni Kemet, literally man of Egypt. But Remich is used in the plural, is the people. The people. It's not specifically a man in terms of male, gender. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you from this dictionary. All right. But now what I also want to do is I want to take you to Crumb's Coptic dictionary. We're going to go to page 110 in column A, and we're going to look at this word Keme, which is the word for the place name Egypt or Kemet. The place name Kemet, a.k.a. ancient Egypt. All right. So let me share that with you all. And then I'll open it up for questions. And hopefully James will be able to follow along what I'm saying, because I'm doing this per James' request. James put me to work. And I didn't promise him that I would do it, but he made such a fuss last night that I felt obligated to do this. And let me find Crumb. All right, here we go, right here. So let me share this. Okay. So here is Crumb's full Coptic dictionary. And let me get my cursor over there. So we are at page, let's scroll up. We are at page 110, as you can see on the screen. I'm at page 110 and column A. You got two columns. We're going to go to column A, and we're going to scroll down, and we're going to find the word Keme, which is right here. You see that? You see that? You see that? That's the word that was referenced in the Coptic etymological dictionary. All right? This is it. The SA stands for Sahidic. The B is Baharic. The F, Fayumic. So here, Crumb is telling you the various spellings. It's spelled like this in Sahidic. It's spelled like this in Baharic. It's spelled like this in Fayumic. So he's showing you the various spellings. So the point that Smash made about the I or the E and stuff like that, that is a mute point because it just depends on what dialect you're using that Deidre was trying to spell out. But anyway, so it says, Cammy, it says the Black Land, Egypt. So that is the name, that's the Coptic name of the nation Egypt. All right? So that's a toponym. Period. All right? So hopefully everybody got that. And let me get my screen back set up, and I'm going to open up for Q&A. Take this down here. Switch this back up. Let me just get my reset on. Reset. Bam. All right. So there you have it. I think Emicat is sharing something here. You want to speak on that?
Yes, I think we should definitely go over this again because that's actually a very crucial thing in that whole discussion of other than the attribution to the wrong person, the misinterpretation of what was written by the actual author, and why the word "the" is actually emphasized in this discussion, and even what you talked about yesterday when trying to say United States the nation versus United States, the word means nation. And this is because the word "the" is actually a definitive article. And I'm just going to read this, word for word. It's not much, just so that everybody understands what is going on. If you haven't, because we all do grammar, like way back when we were young, and then you kind of just out of sight, out of mind. But we've definitely gone over this in our grammar class with Sesh, Medew, Netcher, Rani Kime grammar. So this is will be more familiar with those people that have taken Mujao's class. But so I'm just going to go and read this. So what a definitive article in this specific sense, the actually refers to is it refers to a specific or definite, and that's the keyword: definite person, place, or thing, which is a noun, or what we call, actually you'll find it written as a noun, but we actually correctly say it as substantive because both substantives and adjectives actually fall under the classification of noun. So this is for that substantive. And I'm just going to read this. In English, three articles. You have a, an, and the. Articles are used before nouns or noun equivalents and are a type of adjective. And saying this because it's actually describing something or giving attributes to a particular thing or the noun that is being mentioned. So the definite article "the" is used before a noun to indicate that the identity of the noun is known to the reader. So in this sense, with the discussion that we had, the identity of the noun, when it says the nation, we're assuming that the nation Egypt was already mentioned, which it was actually mentioned there. So when you use that, it's indicating that you know the identity of the noun that actually precedes or comes after that the article "the." So the indefinite article, this is "are" and "an." These are actually different from "the," and they're used before a noun that is general or when identity is not known. So that's very different. So the sister Didra did not say "a" or "an," but actually put "the," because the identity of what was being discussed, what nation was being discussed, was already there. So the identity of the noun is already known to the reader because the writer has indicated it before. Now, you can find this in that place, but I'm going to read this as well because from Wikipedia, because this has good examples in it. So a definite article is an article that marks a definite noun phrase. Definite articles such as English, "the" are used to refer to a particular member of a group. It may be something that the speaker has already mentioned, or it may be otherwise something uniquely specified. So the key words here is that the speaker has already identified it, and the sister Deidre already identified what nation she was speaking of, which was Kemet or Egypt. And then if it's not, then it's something unique. So it's not just any nation, it's a particular nation. So this is why you see that uniqueness. And they give examples with "give me the book" or "give me a book." Now, when somebody says "give me the book," it's a specific book. They're not just asking for any random book. So it's a specific, a unique, specified book. When they say "give me a book," it could be anything. Now, when it comes to what Smash was reading, in terms of what Sister Deidre actually said. So if we read it, we know they are erroneous because Coptic uses the word Kami for the nation and so forth. Now, knowing what we've just gone through now, we saw that Smash kept saying that what Smash was reading was Coptic uses the word Kemi for nation. And when you actually read this, Coptic uses the word Kemi for nation, then that actually says what he was assuming, which will be that the word Kami, if you go to a dictionary, will mean nation because that's literally what it says. But that what he was actually misreading had the definitive article the. So when which he should have read Coptic uses the word Kami for their or the nation. And in that sense, is actually saying what we have just gone through right now, which is that the identity of the noun is known to the reader. So you don't have to go to a dictionary to look for it. He's not saying that that's a definition for it. He's saying that it's of a particular nation. So the identity of the noun is known to the reader, or is something that the speaker has already mentioned, or is otherwise something uniquely specified, and it's not something that you're going to actually look for in a dictionary. I just wanted to add that just for those who actually might have slipped through going too fast, because grammar is kind of complex sometimes. But that's why it was very crucial that that Smash read what was written and understood what was written properly, because that simple and single little word there makes all the big difference in how the meaning of something is.
All right, excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so I think we covered all the bases that we wanted to cover tonight, and so now I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So I'm paying attention to the chat. So again, and I appreciate that, Chris. I see you said iota, so he corrected me or kept me honest on that. Iota and epsilon, Deshareb as well. So appreciate that. Deshareb also says Baharic is most like Medew, but still pretty useless. Okay. But all right, so I'm engaging the chat. So if you all have any questions about what I went over, or whatever comments and whatnot, as a matter of fact, indicate if you don't mind, if you can post the link. How long have we been going? All right, so we have maximum 20 minutes, y'all. 20 minutes. I don't want this video to go over 2 hours. All right, I want to keep it 2 hours or under. So if anybody wants to come onto the panel and chime in, share something, if you think that we've made any mistakes, be my guest and come on in. Or I can see the chat now, so you if you want to type your questions or share anything, but let me scroll up. So while you all are getting your thoughts together, I'm gonna scroll up and see what is being said. So let me go up top. So shout out to everybody. I see we have Christopher Withers in the building. We have Sharp Spear. We had a brother Donnie, Deshareb, Robert Rand, James Powell, peace. Who else do we have? Donnie Williams. I said Donnie Williams. And we have Posterious Thought, the brother Bucksy, the brother Boom. And listen, if I call you a brother and you're not a brother, it's only because there's no avatar and the name seems masculine. So, forgive me if I definitely get your gender wrong. All right. So I'm just going to apologize all ahead of time, because I don't mean any ill intent behind it. I'm trying to see who else do we have. Got the brother Boom. I already said that. Bucksy. Fi Lightentis is in the house. Monica's probably came and gone. All right. So anyway, here we are. So the link is there. If you all want to pop in, feel free. Or ask your question. So let's see. We got the brother Bucksy is first up. He says that was excellent, very clear. All right. Hey, listen. As long as it's clear, as long as it was clear and you understood it, hey, that's what matters. All right. I hope James is able to see this and he understands it, because like I said, this video, I'm doing this because of his request, and I felt compelled to do it this time because he made such a fuss about it last night. And then he went further and tried to say that, we or I dodge his questions or whatever, when I'm not known to do that. Like nobody would believe that. If people were to scan me and my behavior and my patterns and what I've been doing for over the years on social media, nobody's gonna believe that I dodge anything or run from anything or try not to answer questions and this, that, and the third. Like I welcome the questions. The only thing that people will be able to accurately say about me is that there are some questions which I know takes time to answer. And so in such cases, I will tell somebody, hey, that deserves a whole show. And so I'll table it, but I don't dodge any of them, because I understand, we can't microwave this stuff. And I'm definitely not going to microwave information if I don't have to. So let's see. Boom is saying, Imiket, what is the word for man in Swahili? Oh, okay. So you asking some Swahili questions there. And Imiket answered and said, mutu, or mtu, 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 kintu, shintu, zentu, puntu, buntu, luntu, kuntu.
Yeah, it's mtu, because that and that, yeah, it's good you said kitu or whatever. So like mtu, that is, it's a thing really, but in this instance it's a thing that is a person, so it has that prefix m. But if it's kitu, like you said, that's a thing that is not animate, so that would be kitu with and all of that. So yeah.
Imiket's dishing out Kiswahili lessons. By the way, Imiket, I don't know. I know nobody answered this, but I think previous people were asking, what languages do you speak and know?
Okay, so I speak Kiswahili, I speak Toluo, I speak English, and I speak Danish. I could definitely read and understand Swedish and Norwegian as well, and just speak very minimal of it.
So that's Kiswahili, the Luo,
English
English,
and Danish.
English, Danish, and read Swedish and Norwegian. All right. Let's see. Robert Rand says he was capping last night. All right. Boom is saying, and what do those words have to do with the Coptic word for man? Is there any connection at all, Imiket? I'm curious. All right. Oh, too. Okay, I get what you're saying. That's an interesting question. Imiket, we use marumi for man, and in another language, malumi for uncle. Now, boom. When you say, what language is that though? And mwana, that you have mwaname, wanume, we use it to refer to a child. Mvulana, mwaname, msichana.
Ujawi showed off his Kiswahili lessons, but
Y'all don't want to get me started, boy. Y'all don't want to get me started speaking Kiswahili, boy. I'll flip it. I'll flip it on y'all.
yeah, it's interesting. I know Boom speaks a Bantu language, and yes, we do also say mwana in Kiswahili, and yes, the mwana that actually see in ume actually means when you say to a child, that we will say mwanamume as in a male child in a sense. And it's interesting because even his other translations, he says shona, Shona Malume, Zulu, and Debele. It's interesting because you can see how similar they are, but then you have people argue on these internet streets that they're not going to learn Kiswahili because that's an Arabic, has Arabic stuff in it. So but when you actually understand Kiswahili and all the different dialects of Kiswahili, you know that these are just lazy people talking, because Kiswahili is actually a Bantu language. And there's no African language that does not either inherit other languages from other, inherit words from other languages, languages around it, and also borrow words from other languages on the continent and outside of the continent, like English, Portuguese, French, and all that stuff. So even my mother tongue, Doluo, actually has heavily borrowed words from Kiswahili, has heavily borrowed words from English, and all of that. So if you don't like to see borrowed words in an African language because you want to keep things pure, you're going to have to invent your own African language. So yeah, I'm just saying this because people actually do try to look at Kiswahili sideways because they have this perception of, oh, it's Arabic and all that kind of stuff, and it's a lot of Arabic stuff. This is just lazy people who actually haven't looked into languages, and especially Bantu languages and Kiswahili on its own, that talk like that. But yeah, you can see how similar with what Boom posted about his language and Kiswahili, how similar they are.
Excellent, excellent. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. See, everybody's learning. Everybody's learning. So we went over the request by Brother James. And do you all have any questions on that? We got 10 minutes left, you all. So the link is posted if you all want to have any questions about that, or you can ask about anything. You can discuss anything. But I'm saying, I just want to know if any of y'all have any questions on what we went over. So let me just do a quick summary. So again, the Brother James watched Smash Rockwell's presentation on the words Kami or Kame and Kmom. And Smash was presenting as if that came from Asar, and that Asar made mistakes, and that they could be easily corrected, and this, that, and the third. When we actually look into it, it is the Smash who is making the mistake by not reading what he had on his screen and even highlighted and retyped correctly. It shouldn't be attributed to Asar. It's actually Sister Deidre that did a Quora post about that, and she's citing Asar in terms of the determinatives and his paper, but that quotation is not even from his paper at all. What he's Smash is focused on is actually Sister Deidre, and she never meant or said what Smash thinks she's saying. She didn't say that Kami means nation. She said Kami is the Coptic word used for the nation, and as Emicat rightfully pointed out, the definite article is important because it implies that the reader already knows what the specificity of the object should be, or what's being talked about, the noun that comes after the definite article. So when we say the nation, what nation? You already know because the Sister Deidre already mentioned Egypt in her post. So in essence, she's simply saying that Coptic, the Coptic word for ancient Egypt is Kami. And she's absolutely right about that. The Coptic word Kmom is the one that deals with the color black. Now, Kmom is the verb to be black, but her point is that it deals with color. So Kmom deals with color, Kame deals with the nation. You see that? You see how easy that is? One word is referring to the nation, and the other word is referring to color. Whether you become that color or you are that color as an attribute, which would be adjective, or you become that color as the verb aspect of it, it doesn't matter because her point is to separate Kame from Kmom. Those are actually two different words, and she's absolutely correct on that. So I wanted to give the correct attribution to her and to say that she's absolutely correct about that, and it's Smash Rockwell that is wrong about that. All right. Therefore, confusing the Brother James, and why James is asking me to address it or to go over it. And hopefully I did my best and succeeded in clarifying that for him. And hopefully I clarified that for you all following along in the chat. All right. So to that end, we got 6 more minutes. Does anybody have any more questions? So let me see. I'm going to post up some stuff. Let's see. What do we have good here? We have Philightentus says, I actually don't like that it has Arabic loanwords in it as well when I started learning. Okay. Yeah, see, we have to get over, I'm just making a quick comment about that. We have to get over that because there is no such thing as a pure language unless what's called a conlang. A conlang is short for constructed language. For example, if any of you are Star Trek fans, you know that the Klingon language is a Khan language. It was created. It was created long ago by Rosenberry or Rottenberry, the person who created Star Trek and his team, and it actually became very, very popular to a point where it's actually a speech community that speaks Cleon. As weird as that sounds, it may seem strange to us. There are people who actually speak Cleon, some diehard Star Trek fans, and things like that. But language doesn't work that way. Language is very, very organic and changes. And so we shouldn't have this sense of discrimination with language, because if you were to look up the International Phonetic Association, which is the body or organization responsible for the International Phonetic Alphabet, they mapped all the sounds in all languages around the world to a symbol, and they describe the sounds. And when you analyze it and you take a survey, you'll find out that the phonological inventory of any handful, if you grab any two languages, the phonology of those two languages are going to heavily overlap. For example, I'm going to give you an example. A voiced bilabial plosive. That's the name of the sound. Now, I just gave the scientific or the technical name of a sound that most people will not know what I'm talking about. A voiced bilabial plosive. See, we don't describe these sounds like that, so people may not have a clue about what I'm saying. But I simply said the sound that's represented by our letter B, as in boy. The B sound, that B consonant sound, is technically called a voiced bilabial plosive. There's a close relative to that, which is an unvoiced bilabial plosive. Guess what letter is that we represent as a character? It's the letter P, as in Paul. So a P and a B are almost identical. One is voiced and the other is unvoiced. And all that means is that for the unvoiced one, the vocal cords are not involved. For the voiced one, which is B, as in boy, the vocal cords are involved. So I'm gonna try my best to sound out a proper B and a P sound. So a B, and I'm gonna use the vowel A after it. The B, because it's voice, sounds like this: buh, buh, buh. So you hear my voice, you hear the vibration. I mean, you probably can't hear the vibration, but you could feel it if you do what I just did and you put your hand on your throat. Buh, buh, buh. That's B. But now, don't use your vocal cords at all and do the same thing. Bilabial means two lips. Unvoiced means the absence of the vocal cords, vibration. And plosive is the air that is obstructed and then blast out. So the P is really, it's the same thing, except I'm not using my voice. It's going, that's P, and buh, 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 that's B. Buh, buh, buh. That's it. That's the difference. So I'm saying this because both P, or the voiced bilabial plosive, and the unvoiced bilabial plosive exist in many, 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 many languages around the world. It's used in English. It's used in Arabic. It's used in, I mean, you just name it. It's in so many languages around the world. So again, my point is that our, tendency to be discriminatory on certain languages, I think is it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. But there are languages that have phonemes or have phones that do not exist in other languages. Like Arabic has an ayn, a kha, and things like that. In English, we don't have that. But we have the lam, which is our L sound, and so on and so forth. So anyway, I just want to make sure you all are aware of that. But anyway, let's keep going. Posterior says, I've been debating which African languages to study. I'm still working on my own. Oh, you were trying to invent a language. Okay. Listen, inventing a language is not an easy thing if you're going to actually do the daggone thing. Because I've seen people try to invent languages and it's terrible. You know, they think they invented a language, but it's really it's really not. But yeah, that's an endeavor right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was saying. Is that remember that the whole thing about language, language works with consensus and speech communities, which means that whoever you want to speak it with, there must be a group of people that agree to to the sets of signs that you're going to be using to describe things. So if you invent it, it might if you're the only person using it, then you wouldn't even call it a language, because one of the things that has to happen is that you have to have a consensus, you have to have a speech community with it. So if you invent something, then you just have to make sure that it's something that is being used by some sort of community, whether it's actually a spoken language or like written and stuff. Unless if it's written, and unless you're doing like some secret stuff, because you can actually invent like secret scripts and whatnot.
All right, so we are definitely on a 2 hour mark, and I really appreciate everybody tuning in. I think everybody can walk away with some to go box, and learn something from tonight's discussion. It seems like Kiswahili is definitely going to win in terms of a language that people are going to study. I know me personally, I am definitely going to be learning Kiswahili, or continue to learn Kiswahili. Fortunate for me, there's a lot of Kiswahili material out there to get, and my recommendation to you all is Pimsleur. I think Pimsleur has a good Kiswahili study course, or whatever the case is. You go there and you download the audio files, and you go over certain audio files per day and things like that. That's pretty good. I know that the Rosetta Stone company, at one point, they had a good Kiswahili. I was very impressed with their Kiswahili study course, but they discontinued it, and it was really, really good. And I had downloaded the sample. I had taken like the 7-day free trial, or whatever the case. This was like some time ago. This is years ago, and it was really good because they started off with pictures. They use pictures throughout the whole thing, and they show you a picture, and then they name it in Kiswahili. But then after the first session, they don't even go back to English. Like after that first session, you don't even use English anymore. They connect pictures together and teach you the words, and then they build your vocabulary from there. And I was like, man, this is pretty good. So that was very good. But fortunately, I have native Kiswahili speakers. Emiket is definitely going to be instrumental in learning. I will get the benefit of actually hearing the pronunciations of everything as I do. So when I say certain words like mfundishi, mboli, those things that we don't have in English, where we have two consonants butted up against each other, we don't have that in English. Like, how you pronounce an M and an N together? Like, what? Or an N and a Y together? What really gets me is the G and the B together. Like, what? Gbuh? What? What is that? So for me to hear it is definitely beneficial, and I'm fortunate for that. So I'm looking in the chat. I don't see any specific questions. So again, I want to say dua to everybody who tuned in. We are 4 minutes over now. And again, so this video is dedicated to the brother James, who asked me to go over it. And I hopefully that he will gain some clarity on it. And now I didn't see Smash Rockwell's video originally at all. I didn't even know he did that video until James pointed it out last night and gave me the timestamp to address. And so that's what I did. So I took that clip. But you all go support and check out the brother Smash's video and his channel, all right, because he goes live from time to time and share his while he's studying and share information and things like that. This particular one on this clip, I think Rockwell should slow it down a bit and make those corrections for that. All right. So anyway, here we go. So I will say Shimon Hotep and Buxy. Yeah, I did get your inbox about the 7 liberal arts, and so I do want to do something on that, but I want to collect my notes on it because the 7 liberal arts and that topic is not at the forefront of my mind for me to just go live and just go off of memory to have that discussion. So I just want to kind of review any of the notes that I have on that, and then I'm around back to you. All right. So I don't want you to think that I didn't get it. But all right. So MK, you have any closing?
Yeah, I think you did a good job of, first of all, you accommodated James' request and watched the video. And I think he assumed that you don't watch the video out of something that was like disrespectful or whatnot. But people forget that that people have actually real lives and real jobs. And once you're done with your job, you have your other stuff that you need to do. And it's not like people are literally sit around and see what's going on YouTube from morning to evening in that sense. So at least you accommodated him in this instance and took the time now to actually watch that video. And then I think it was a good breakdown of, we did learn a few things. We definitely learned that Demotic, Hieratic, and Coptic are written, especially the early Coptic is written from right to left. And we also learned, about attributing and all that kind of stuff. And basically, I'm just saying that today was actually a good learning lesson for us. Go you slowing that conversation down and going through that video. So, and that's really necessary. And yeah. So I don't want to take too long because we gotta keep this short. And yeah. So thank you, Odua, for breaking down everything, and thank you to the people in the chat for participating.
I just want to interject something. I didn't say Coptic is written from right to left, y'all. So that's Emicat. Yeah, I'll blame Emicat on that one. All right, she's saying Coptic is written from right to left. I said Demotic and Hieratic. All right.
Okay. Oh, correction. Demotic and Hieratic was written right to left.
All right. Yes. Just gotta make that clear. They be like, see what Joe said. Nope. But anyway, that's a quick fix. Anyway, so shout out to I Run a Gun. Yeah, I always got a shout out to I Run a Gun. Whenever he makes an appearance, man, I make a big deal because the brother I Run a Gun. See, I want to say this because he popped in here. I Run a Gun. First of all, I probably ask you this all the time. Where are you located? I think I ask you this every time. But where are you located, real quick?
So while he's doing that, y'all see a running gun, showing off his Kiswahili skills. He said, "Usiku mwema bujao na imiket." So he's saying, "Good night," or "Good evening," or "Good night."
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, you say he just moved to Florida. Yeah. So listen, y'all. I don't know if he's set up shop or whatever, but I Run and Gun. I'm very impressed about his firearm skill, firearm safety, firearm training, and competition videos that he post up, because that catches my attention, because ever since I turned 21, I own a firearms plural. But the moment I turned 21 on my birthday, y'all, I went straight to the shop and purchased my first firearm. I was not playing. I was like, man, and I know the importance of training, of learning your firearms. I know the importance of cleaning, and definitely knowing how to operate it and actually aim and do things like that. Like I definitely took it serious, and some people took me under their wing when I first bought it, because I used to go to the gun range all the time. Like I lived there at one point. Like when I first, cause when you first get something, it's brand new. It's like the new toy. It's like, that's what you focus on, period. And I used to go to the gun range like 3 times a week. That's back when you could buy a whole box of bullets, a whole box of practice rounds for like what, $5 or something. I forgot. It was cheap. You get the paper, you get the neon symbol, stickers and stuff. You get the headset, ear protection and stuff like that. The goggles, and I used to live there. But anyway, it was a guy that took me under his wing because I used to see him all the time. He used to see me, and he was a competition shooter, and he was there practicing, and I was amazed. He would practice drawing from the hip, and then shooting real quick and put it back in the holster, pull out, shoot, put it back. And he used to hit targets like it was nothing. He used to have the full sheet, but then he used to have these round, these smaller circles, neon orange and green circles, and he used to hit it. And he used to do rapid fire, like the recoil. He used to snap back, shoot, and then snap back the recoil where it wouldn't affect. I mean, the man was made. He took me on his wing and kind of gave me a whole bunch of pointers. So anyway, I say all that to say is that I have learned to appreciate all that. So when I Run and Gun post his videos and stuff, it catch my attention. But anyway, I'll give him a shout out, and so y'all could look him up. Just want to give him a shout out and a plug for that. Anyway, we need to go, so I'm gonna say Shimim Hotep and peace to y'all. See y'all next time. We are outie. Hotep. Go to interfere. Shimim Hotep.
Said that when you go to chemist school, you became more alert. You more wake up. Your spirit wake up, and you became a more human being. That's your character is built in a school. Classical studies. We must know Medew Netcher. You see, maybe in the future we need to know some Heretic too. We need to know Medew Netcher. Achievement in Kemet for me is education. The way they think, they build, and they practice their education is very unique in history. Without education, I believe there will be no Kemet.